The guy who had a 6-game stretch with the highest completion percentage with 100 or more passes in league history, 82.6%, was 15 of 30 last night.
That's crazy.
240 yards, 2 touchdowns, 5 interceptions for Jared Goff. He'll probably never do a pregame sit-down interview ever again. Although they won. Yeah. That's the other argument. You still won, Jared Goff. You're 1-0 after sitting down with Jason Garrett.
Brought him the shebang there. I don't know what he did.
Here's Goff and Dan Campbell from after the game on overcoming those turnovers and getting the win.
We're tough, you see. We're tough.
When you can dig in deep in those adverse situations and come out on top, it just prepares you for the next adverse situation. You know, it's never over till it's over. We were in a hole there, big hole, and they were playing well. They were humming on defense. I kept giving them the ball over and over, and we fought. We really did.
Look, I feel really good about our team. You know, you know, they haven't done anything that would surprise me negatively. You know, they're exactly what I thought they would be. The fight they got in them. You know, the ability to reload one more time on the road, you know, after the win we had in Green Bay, and to face an opponent, a dang good opponent, plays damn good defense and takes care of the ball for the most part. And we knew they were going to be ready to go. It says a lot.
Yeah, it does say a lot. And it's that confidence that comes from finding a way, like the team we're going to talk about in a second.
Yeah.
The dread that develops in the team you're facing. I think that's something that gets overlooked. Jason Garrett mentioned it a couple of times last night. The idea that the mirror image to what you're feeling when you're a team that can overcome this adversity is the team against whom you're facing the adversity starts to think, oh, shit.
Yeah, here we go. Here comes the inevitable will of the Lions.
Sorry,
or
Manchester.
The Chiefs.
Yeah. So, yeah, here it comes.
Right.
Here it comes.
Right.
It's gonna get us, and it's just a question of how and when.
Yeah.
But it's going to get us.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that's a fair thought. I mean, I certainly think that does go on in some of these football games, and I think the Lions are getting to that point. I don't know if they're quite there yet like the Chiefs, and they're going to have to continue to win football games like this and in the playoffs, I think, to get that total belief there. But they certainly believe it. That's the number one thing. They believe they're going to win in those situations. And as we sit here, whatever, team of destiny, playing great football, whatever you want to say, they are a team on a mission right now. And the Houston Texans are a team that's treading water, trying not to drown in the middle of the ocean in the AFC right now.
You talked about maybe the code being cracked on C.J. Stroud and the Texans offense. Was there anything you saw last night from the Detroit offense and what the Texans defense did to it that could create similar concern that there's a way to slow down Jared Goff? The rushing attack was okay. Jameer Gibbs popped free a couple of times. He had 71 yards on 19 carries.
But they got down
3.7
so quick,
yards
they
per
couldn't
carry.
really
they had to
lean on him. So they had to get into the passing game there. I mean, Houston doesn't do a ton on defense. But what you do see, I think Houston can play some man-to-man a little bit with Stingley in that. And I think if we get a team out there that you go, oh, wait, they can play man-to-man and covered Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jamison Williams like that on a handful of big plays or big situations. I thought we saw some issues there where it forces, Jared Goff to throw some balls into really tight windows. And again, like Amon-Ra St. Brown and the rest of the receiving core is not one that you go, oh, wow, they're going to fly by us and make big plays. Jamison Williams is really the only guy you have to worry about that. But the other thing that just jumped out to me to your question was Houston's defense being so fast the way it is. That seemed to be what disrupted Detroit early. And maybe that's something to look at as we go forward. Is there a team out there that has that type of team speed on the defensive side of the ball? Because it felt like Jared Goff, whether it was the tip pass interceptions and how quickly people got on him or how quickly they closed holes with their front seven because of the speed of their football team, it did feel like Detroit had issues with that. But I don't know if there was anything schematically that I necessarily saw, Mike.
And they really do have a great complement of skill position players. Those are the only 5 guys that caught passes last night. Sam Laporte at the tight end, Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jamison Williams the receivers, and Jameer Gibbs and David Montgomery the running backs.
Yeah.
5 players were targeted, 5 players caught passes last night. Those are the only 5 you need.
And that is. It's the only 5 you need, and that they feed those guys. You see here, Sam Laporta, early third quarter, trying one-on-one, just trying to jam the ball into him as he comes out of the break. Interception. Jamison Williams throwing the ball deep here, 23-13. They go up and get the football there. But they're really a complete football team altogether. Again, I think the big thing we're going to watch, and we didn't see him last night, is just Za'Darius Smith. What does he add to their pass rush? Does it take the burden of them having to go 5-man fronts and blitz and do that type of stuff all the time to have to get pressure on the quarterback? We'll see where that goes. But other than that, there's not a lot of flaws with this Lions team.
They did have 4 sacks last night without Za'Darius Smith playing. He arrived via trade this week, and I think they wanted to give him a little bit of a break, give him some rest, let him get acclimated. He was very involved on the sidelines. He was interviewed on the post-game show on Peacock. So he's ready to roll, and he's itching to play the Vikings and the Packers. The Vikings game is Week 18. I think the Packers, when do they play the Packers? It's the Thursday night after Thanksgiving on Amazon Prime. It'll be the Packers and the Lions.
They'll be motivated for that
in Detroit. So the Lions are now 8-1.
Yep.
And they're in first place in the NFC North, number 1 seed in the NFC, and they just keep rolling, and we'll see if they can keep it going. But it was fun to watch, unless you're a Texans fan, and the Lions are looking like the NFC's team of destiny. The problem is the AFC has a team of destiny. As we said earlier, those destinies are going to clash at some point. Hopefully, we could only be so lucky.
Well, I think there's a
Chiefs,
team.
Lions,
I think there's a team wearing purple and black that wants to tell you they're the team of destiny too right
Not
now.
the Vikings.
No, not them. That definitely not them. Sorry, but the one we saw on Thursday night. I think they're a team that's starting to believe they're a team of destiny. And I think there's a team in Philadelphia wearing green that thinks they're also a team of destiny. That's what I think is cool about the season right now. I think right now we have 4 teams that I go, and not to say other teams can't get in there, but those 4 have separated from the rest of football, and that's what is going to be cool. And Buffalo might be another team that starts to go, hey,
we found out this weekend they get their shot. They get their shot at the Chiefs this weekend. Well, you mentioned the Ravens. I just want to say this briefly because we're going to talk about the Chiefs. My big takeaway from the Thursday night game when the Ravens held off the Bengals with that great finish, even though the officiating was caca on the final drive by the Bengals. The Chiefs were the big winners because if the Bengals somehow miss the playoffs, that's the team that I think the Chiefs need to worry about the most. They need to worry about Burrow, who transcends into – he goes from superhero to super-duper hero in the postseason. He relishes the opportunity to play the Chiefs.
What we saw Thursday night, you don't want to see that again.
No.
If he had a healthy T. Higgins, what would that look like?
So – I think that if the Bengals end up racking up too many losses and they don't get in, that makes it easier for the Chiefs because the Chiefs are the team that gets in the heads of the Bills and the heads of the Ravens. That's why, and that's the thing. Even if the Bills win on Sunday, and what a game that's going to be, the Bills are going to give the Chiefs their absolute best shot. But if the Bills win that, it's like, okay, we'll see you in January.
Yeah,
and
we know. The Bills win. It's like, well, we know you can beat them in the regular season.
Right.
We just you don't seem to ever beat them in the playoffs. But I hear you there, and I'll tell you. You don't. Baltimore will also be happy if Cincinnati doesn't get in the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
You don't think? I don't think Baltimore wants to see them again. They probably
like Apollo
should have
Creed at the end of Rocky
Right.
One.
They probably should have
don't want
lost
one. They're going to be no rematch. Don't want one.
Right. They don't want one. But the pressure's on the Bengals and what they got to do right now. But point being is, it does seem like the stars are aligning to where we have multiple teams that are going to have we're the team of destiny. This is our year type of feel as we get late into the season, and hopefully that is the case because that will lead to unbelievable playoff matchups and just can't miss football.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.